Hello and welcome back to this channel. Dear students, this topic is McLear scheduling and connection admission. From the exam point of view, you may expect the question related to this topic like explain the classification of scheduling algorithm and also explain the different types of scheduling algorithm. As the name indicates, it is scheduling algorithm. That means it decides the schedule how to provide the services to the different users. So these are the algorithms used to assign radio sources. Radio sources includes time, frequency or codes to the different users. This scheduling is important in order to reduce down the radio interference and to obtain the maximum output. Now this chart shows the different types of scheduling algorithms. First is static versus dynamic, next centralized versus distributed, third is time domain or frequency domain, next is user based or service based, next fairness or efficiency, and last is proportional fairness versus or maximal throughput. Now we will discuss each type of this scheduling algorithm in detail. Now first type of scheduling is static scheduling or dynamic scheduling. So from the name it is very much clear. Static means fixed. Scheduling is done on the fixed basis. Dynamic means it goes on changing depending on several parameters. So first of all, static scheduling. Certain predefined rules are used to allocate the resources to different users. In this case, network conditions and traffic load, all these conditions are not considered because it is the static situation. Practical examples of this static scheduling is round robin scheduling, then max min fairness scheduling, and so on. Dynamic, in this case, real time network conditions are considered, are taken into account, and then the allocation of the resources is done. So, practical examples related to this dynamic scheduling are channel aware scheduling or cross layer scheduling. Second type is centralized or distributed. As the name indicates, centralized means from one common point, like from the base station, the scheduling is performed. So this scheduling is performed globally. That means it is applicable to all users. Whereas distributed means it depends on the different local conditions. So first, for centralized scheduling, it is implemented for all users by the base station. Examples are network controlled scheduling, and distributed means it is based on the local information. That means example of this is autonomous scheduling and random access. So these are the first two types of scheduling algorithms. Third type is time domain or frequency domain. So first is time domain type of scheduling. As the name indicates, this type of scheduling depends on the time domain parameters. So different time domain parameters that are considered while applying this scheduling are we may consider time slots or different time frames. Example is TDMA, that is time division multiple access. Then frequency domain, similar to the time domain, certain frequency domain characteristics are considered and then the scheduling is done. These characteristics, frequency domain characteristics, might include subcarriers or different channels. Practical examples are frequency division multiple access, that is FDMA, or OFDMA, that is orthogonal frequency division multiple access. Then fourth type is user based or service based. So first is user based. As the name indicates, the scheduling is done which is based on the user characteristics, which may include priority, then quality of service, that is QoS, and traffic conditions. Example is priority based scheduling. Next is service based. As the name indicates, the scheduling is done on the type of service, that is type of service as well as the application requirement. For example, the different parameters in this case which are considered for scheduling are throughput, that is output, then delay parameters, packet losses, etc. The practical example is max min fair or utility based scheduling. Next type is fairness or efficiency. For the fairness type of scheduling, as the name indicates, there should be fair distribution of channel access to all the users. This is the main point that is considered while performing this type of scheduling. Efficiency, As far as this efficiency is concerned, the scheduling is done by keeping in mind to obtain the maximum system throughput, that is maximum system output. Then last type of scheduling is proportional fare or maximal throughput. Proportional fare, in this case, allocation of the channel access is based on the user's channel quality. And in case of maximal throughput, this allocation, allocation of the channel access is based on the user that is having maximum data rates, because the main attention is towards the throughput, that is output. So this is about the types of scheduling algorithms. Next part is, let us talk about admission control. The new admissions are controlled. So that depends on several parameters. So ability to control new traffic admissions depends on availability of the sources. So there is one term which is called connection admission control, that is CAC. It has some common criteria. One of the criteria is that new admissions are allowed, but the packets related to these new admissions are facing more delays. So more connections are admitted, but packets of the newly admitted connections experiences a delay. Then we'll talk about some important terms. First important term is classifier. So incoming packet of data is put in predefined classes. That means initially certain classes are defined, and whatever data, incoming packet of data is there, that is admitted into one of the predefined classes. So there is one more term which is called TCS, that is traffic conditioning specification, that defines the rules of the classifier. That means how to apply the classification to the incoming data. That rules are decided by TCS. Next parameter is quality of a channel. As the name indicates, different parameters need to be considered while deciding the quality of a channel, because quality of a channel is getting affected by several parameters, like the quality of a channel is getting affected by noise, it is getting affected by fading, and so on. So certain parameters are used to watch or to keep watch on the quality of the channel. These parameters may include signal to noise ratio, or it may include bit error rate. So we have written the performance of the channel depends on number of factors, that includes noise, fading, then interference, and so on. SNR, that is signal to noise ratio, and BER, that is bit error rate, are used to evaluate the quality of a channel. So dear students, that's it for today's session, that is about MAC layer scheduling and connection admission.